Okay, so for number 1 for g of f, so that means we're plugging the 3x plus 5 into the 4x squared plus 6. So we would have 4 times 3x plus 5 squared plus 6. So remember, this means that you have to FOIL that, right? So we're doing 3x plus 5 times 3x plus 5. So we're going to do that first before we multiply by the 4, because you always have to do exponents first. So that's going to give us 6x squared plus 15x plus 15x plus 25. So remember, all that's getting multiplied by 4. So you have 4 times 6x squared. I'm going to go ahead and combine my 15x's. Oh, we have that on the end. Right, so then multiply the 4 in, so we get 24x squared plus 120x plus 100 plus 6. Then we can combine those together to get 24x squared plus 120x plus 106. All right, so that was the second part of number 1. Okay, moving on to number 2. So we have our 2 functions. So we have x squared plus 2 and x minus 7. So the first one, we'll do f of g. So that means we're going to take this and plug it in for this x right here. So we're going to have x minus 7 squared and then a plus 2. So just like before, since we have that binomial in parentheses that we have to square, we have to FOIL. So we have x minus 7 and x minus 7. You don't have to write it underneath like this. I just like to because it helps me like keep it straight in my head. So then we get x squared minus 7x minus another 7x plus 49. And then we still have our plus 2 on the end. So then x squared minus 14x plus 49 plus 2. So we can combine 49 and 2. So we get x squared minus 14x plus 51. All right, so this one, since there's not anything in front of this, we don't have to multiply first like we did in that second part of number 1. There's just one less step we have to worry about. Right, so then let's do g of f. So that one we're going to so now we're going to take this and plug it in for this x here. So that's going to be x squared plus 2. And then minus 7, so we can just combine our 2 and negative 7 to give us x squared minus 5. So that's as far as you need to go for number 2. All right, so for number 4, we have f of x is negative 3x squared minus 9. G of x is... Okay, so first let's go ahead and do f of g. So that means we're plugging this square root in for this x right here. So we have 3 times the square root of negative 4x plus 8. And that square root is still squared, right? Because x is squared in our f function. Oh, that's a negative 3. Right, and then minus 9 on the end. So when you square that square root, you're just losing the radical. So that's just going to become negative 3 times negative 4x plus 8 minus 9. All right, so you don't have to FOIL or do anything when you're squaring that square root sign. So then you just distribute your 3 through. So you get a positive 12x minus 24 minus 9. Yep, which is then going to give you 12x minus 33. Then going the other way, so we've got g of f of x. So for that one, so we are plugging this in for this x here. So that's going to be the square root of 4 times negative 3x squared minus 9. And then plus 8. So that's just going to really, we're going to distribute through. Just leave it under the square root. So that's going to be negative 12x squared minus 36 plus 8. Oh, I forgot my negative 4. Sorry, so that's going to be a positive 12 and a positive 36. So then we get 12x squared plus 44. And you just leave it under the square root like that. Okay, number 5. Our functions are 8x plus 11 and 1 over negative 2x plus 12. So, for f of g, I normally do that. So that means we're going to plug our fraction here in for x. So we have 8 times 1 over negative 2x plus 12. And then plus 11. So we're just going to multiply, it's like we're multiplying by 8 over 1. So we're just going to kind of multiply across, which is going to put that 8 in our numerator. And then since 8, negative 2, and 12 are all divisible by 2, we can cancel out like by a factor of 2 in that fraction, which is where we get the 4 over negative x plus 6. Why did I start writing? And then just leave the plus 11 on the end. And then the other direction for g of f, so for that one, we're going to plug our 8x plus 11 into this right here. So we have 1 over negative 2 times 8x plus 11 plus 12. So then we're going to distribute our negative 2. So that's going to give us 1 over negative 16x minus 22 plus 12, which is 1 over negative 16x minus 10. And then you just leave it as a fraction. For g of f of x. So for that one, we will have negative 6 times negative 5x plus 10 squared minus 8. So again, since we're going to be squaring this, right, we have to FOIL it. Right, so that's going to give us 25x squared minus 50x minus 50x plus 100. And this first part is still getting multiplied by negative 6. So then that will give us negative 150x squared plus oh, hold on. Let me, before I do that, actually. It's like, that doesn't look right because I need to combine those. So you get 25x squared minus 100x plus 100. Now we get the negative 150x squared plus 600x minus 600 and then minus 8. So then that's where we get the negative 150x squared plus 600x minus 608. Okay, and so for number 10, we have f of x is equal to the square root of 13x minus 2. G of x is equal to negative 5x squared minus 8. So to do f of g, we're going to take this and plug it in for this x here. So that means we have the square root of 13 times negative 5x squared minus 8, then minus 2. So we multiply that 13 through, which is going to give us negative 65x squared minus 104, then minus 2, which is negative 65x squared minus 106. And then for g of f, so that one we're going to plug our square root in for our x here. So we have negative 5 times the square root of 13x minus 2 squared, then minus 8. So again, here when we square the square root, that's just going to leave us with that 13x minus 2. So we get negative 5 times 13x minus 2 minus 8, which gives us negative 65x plus 10 minus 8, or negative 65x plus 2. Huh? Oh, that's okay. All right, so number 11 is 1 over 3x plus 15. So f of g is going to be 1 over 3 times 7x plus 8, and then plus 15. So just like before, we're going to distribute. So 1 over 21x plus 24 plus 15, which gives us 1 over 21x plus 39. Wait, what have I done? That's 18, not 8. Copied it down wrong, which means that is 54, which means this is 69. And then the other way, so we will have 7 times that fraction, which is 1 over 3x plus 15, and plus 18. So just like before, it's like multiplying by 7 over 1. So it's just going to become 7 over 3x plus 15. Then you just leave the plus 18 on the end.